Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Invisible Walls, where we are talking about getting stuck, staying stuck, and getting out of being stuck. My name is Chris Wilson Slack. I am a leadership coach with managerstoleaders.com, and I'm here to talk to you today about embracing the unknown. We're going to talk about also saying yes to change. One of the ways that the fear of change shows up very often, and that fear impeding us moving forward, is stubbornness. When we get really stubborn about wanting something to be perfect, or that we want to have it done our way, we are really expressing that fear of change. It can also show up as avoidance, where we're not really ready to deal with the change and we really want to take a break before we actually move into the change. So we avoid it. We avoid addressing what it is that we need to do to get unstuck. Change feels scary because the unknown feels like a risk. Our brains are wired to avoid change, not really avoid change, but really avoid that danger that might come from change. When we stay in place, we protect ourselves. But that staying in place also has costs, which, if you're stuck, you are well aware of what those costs might be. There are some hidden benefits to change, whether you might believe it or not, or it might still feel scary and uncertain to do so. When you say yes and you begin to change, you begin to accept change, you open up to new opportunities. You open up to something that might be possible that wasn't possible otherwise. A door opens. And it could be in anything. You may have to move to a new city, let's say, and you may be procrastinating in doing that. But actually, once you get there, you might find a whole new set of friends, a whole new set of opportunities in your career, in your community, and in your life. When you embrace the unknown, there is a sense of excitement. There is a sense of that newness, and you can harness that to be able to continue to ride that wave. Happiness is a great way to understand that we might actually be on the right path to ourselves. When we look at change and we embrace change, we have that possibility. You don't change all at once. Maybe you do, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be easy. If you want to get over a fear of change and embracing the unknown, take little steps. I've said this before in other change videos and getting unstuck videos, but small steps are the best way to be able to move forward. When you actually take a small step in something, you build your own confidence, you build a sense of security, and that creates the space for you to be able to move forward and take more change and more actions that help implement that change. Bottom line is that when you actually embrace change and you say yes, you take control of your future, you take control of your life. We tend to take for granted that when we make decisions, we are in control. But when we don't take decisions, we let other circumstances, other people, maybe even our bosses or other family members take control. And that is a demoralizing position, a position which does not bring joy and happiness for sure. My call to action in this particular situation is, after you take a look at what small changes you can make, do it. Maybe what can you say yes to today? There is a really good book, which is Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. It's a really small book, was written a while ago, but it's a cute story and it really is simple and powerful about change, being okay, and how you can embrace it. So I highly recommend that book. Another book I would recommend is one that, again, is a little bit more general, but it's called The Surrender Experiment. The Surrender Experiment is one where the author of the book was going through some tremendous trouble with change. He was stuck in his life. He wanted to stop the voices in his head, and he followed the surrender experiment, which for him was saying yes to everything that came his way. It's an interesting story, and I do recommend it if you want to hear about someone who was able to overcome some extreme fear of change and stubbornness along the way. So, those are my two book recommendations. My call to action: make a small change. Again, say yes to something today that you might not immediately want to say yes to, and take a small step about that. If you haven't already, please download my guide, What Does It Take to Become Unstuck? You can find that at managerstoleaders.com. It's free. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me directly. My name is Chris Wilson Slack. I am with managerstoleaders.com. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel, like it, and share it with somebody else who might need it. Thanks. I hope you have a great day and see you next week.